Yo, what's up guys, it's the Anime Titan here, back at it again with another What If, and today I am doing What If Naruto was a Saiyan. I know I'm speaking really fast, but that's basically just how I'm going today. So yeah, basically I've decided that I will be cutting out the intros, because me editing the stuff together does cause some of the videos to lose sound, like a lot of the way through. So I'm just going to stop with the intros and just upload the What Ifs as they are. So basically let's get into it. Last time we left off, well, I'm just gonna say this. I flipping flopped. So basically, think of the preliminary. You get the preliminaries, then the semifinals, and then it's the attack on the Konoha Crush arc. So basically, I'm gonna do it this way. It's the preliminaries, Naruto and everybody who passes, and then we have all the matches that go to canon with Naruto versus Neji. So Shikamaru would still be fighting Tamari, and yeah, things would go basically to canon there, and everybody else fighting everybody else. Things like that would go to canon, and basically Naruto would fight Neji. Naruto would have been pissed that Neji had actually just hurt hurt Hinata as badly as he did, seeing as they were supposed to be family, weren't they? So Naruto would have declared that he would beat Neji in the name of Hinata, who just wanted to help the Hyuga, what do you call it? The side branch, get the main branch, and then the not main family. So basically, Naruto would start off the fight by yelling at Neji, as Proctor would eventually just tell him to begin, and Naruto would charge straight at Neji, getting ready to pummel him into the ground. With Neji being like all smug, saying that he's an idiot, as he would activate his Byakugan and realize that Naruto has no chakra points. But he had no choice and still went for the 64 palms, thus causing some damage to Naruto, but no loss of chakra, because no chakra points. Naruto would just start floating and back away from Neji for a bit, as he'd quickly start throwing ki blasts at Neji. These ki blasts actually creating holes in the walls, but not being the explosive kind that I already had Naruto use. Because remember, Naruto has much better ki control, which means he can make them non-explosive and just damaging, or explosive and damaging. So yeah, Naruto would be shooting a bunch of these key bullets at Neji, with Neji constantly having to dodge, tiring him out quite early in the match, which gave Naruto a massive advantage. So Naruto would have stopped this and immediately charged back at Neji, this surprising everybody yet again. But seeing as this time Naruto was actually faster, so Naruto would get right in front of Neji and he'd start brawling, just basically pummeling Neji, with Neji being able to block 5 out of every 7 hits. But Naruto's still getting heavy hits on Neji, which is going to affect him in the long run. Neji would have tried to find a way out, but he couldn't, so he had no choice. Within the next time that Naruto went for a strike, Neji had used the palm rotation, knocking Naruto back by quite a bit, actually ripping the shirt off Naruto's right side. This would have just basically angered Naruto, because seeing as he actually really did like this shirt, as well as this costume. I know he's got like a crap load of them left at home, but he really did like this one. He likes all of them, to be honest. But anyway, Naruto would have been pissed, as he would charge up a ki blast, not a ki bullet this time, a ki blast, meaning basically a ball of energy in his hand. So he'd proceed to shoot that at the now tired out Neji, who couldn't raise the the chitin in time. So Neji would have been hit with a full force of the ki blast, which would have exploded and sent Neji back into a wall, creating a small crater. Neji would have fallen out and asked how the hell Naruto was able to do that, as Naruto would just explain that even if you're a prodigy, hard work can still get people weaker than you far beyond you. I should know that. I'm always weaker than my little brother, who was born with a naturally high power level. I was born with a naturally high power level as well, but I still worked harder to overpower my brother. Wasn't able to do it though, because he learned faster, but I'm still gonna try to work hard to beat him. As Neji would say, you see, prodigies are always naturally stronger. As Naruto would say, no, they're not. My brother trained. He really did. He just learned faster. I never said he got stronger faster. I said he learned faster. Which means he had to train really hard too. And that just means my training was slacking off. As Neji would have realized that Naruto actually isn't lying. So yeah, Neji's ideology would have still been changed here by Naruto, and we'll just jump into the Sasuke fight. Sasuke would have been stronger in this version, so he'd be able to do more damage to Gaara just by getting in a stronger Chidori. Oh, also, speaking of which, Sasuke can now do 5 instead of 4, meaning his chakra has been increased. 3 Tomoe Sharingan, no, and basically a bit more fire style jutsus. So, yeah, let's jump straight into the Konoha Crush arc. Here, things would go to canon, except the fact that Tamari and Kankuro couldn't get close to Gaara this time, meaning he knocked them away before they could carry him out of the village. So Gaara would be transforming right there in the center of the stage. This would have freaked out a bunch of people, as Gaara would have quickly been surrounded by a massive ball of sand, protecting him, making sure that he can finish his transformation, as a bunch of sand and sound shinobis would have started surrounding Gaara to protect him as well. So some of the Konoha ninja would have evacuated the stadium, and the civilians would have gotten home. Well, not home, but to the basically a place where they can hide if the village is ever attacked. So yeah, a bunker, so to say. So they would have all started heading there, as well as the ninjas taking out any enemy ninjas. And Kakashi and Guy would still be there in the thing in the stadium, and would have just watched in horror as a bunch of sand shinobi would be kicking some of the Chunin aside. So Kakashi and Guy would have stepped in and started taking out the ninjas. Naruto would have seen this and would have decided to step in as well, as he'd start shooting them with bullets to blow them up. So basically, he wouldn't be killing them, but he'd shoot a ki blast that would hit the ground, blow up, and then launch like 3 to 4 guys in the air, and then he would just shoot them each with a ki bullet, knocking them out. So that's what he would be doing, as Naruto would just be spamming that attack, as eventually there are almost no shinobi left. But this is when, out of nowhere, the sand dome that surrounded Gaara would completely disappear, revealing a tiny Shikaku, as it would start growing in size massively. Naruto would have seen this and quickly decided that he needed to do something, as a bunch of the villagers would actually still have been watching at this point, wondering how far they gotten. Also, Orochimaru, because the plan backfired, he wouldn't be able to get Hiruzen there. So yeah, he would have decided that he would try his luck on a different way, as he tried to sneak up on Hiruzen, but it wouldn't work. So Hiruzen would still slap Orochimaru around for a bit. Orochimaru would bring out the first and second, have them restrain Hiruzen, then drag Hiruzen out, then put him in a barrier, and then attempt to kill him, but Hiruzen would still die the same way he did in canon, this time stealing a bit more of Orochimaru, meaning that Orochimaru doesn't just lose his arms, he loses his... okay, I can't do anything because otherwise he's dead, because he loses the top half of his soul. So he loses his arms still, but, like, yeah, he can't use them. But Naruto would have... He would have just, to take out Gaara. I'm pretty sure most Dragon Ball Z people know what I'm talking about. Whenever a Saiyan is faced with a giant opponent, what do? They go giant. So basically, yeah, Naruto would have decided that enough is enough, as the massive Shikaku would have just started peering out of prying its head over the top of the stadium. Naruto would have shot a Blitzwave ball into the air, causing him to slowly start transforming. As he would as he would start bulking up, hair would be spreading. He would basically be turning into a great ape, and his clothes would be shredding. So basically, as soon as Gaara was done transforming, the Shikaku would have been face to face with a massive, and I mean massive, monkey, which was Naruto. So Naruto would have immediately picked up Shikaku, which shocked a hell of a lot of the sand villagers, because, like, they have a giant monkey? What? I thought the Hokage was dead. How is there a summoning here? But this would no be. We all know this is no summoning, as Naruto would proceed to pick up Shikaku and toss him outside the village, on top of the 3 summoning snakes, which were basically just trying to wreck the walls. So the 3 summoning snakes would have been crushed by Shikaku, which means they're gone, and Shikaku would have been rolling. Also, Yeah, due to the sudden impact of Shikaku, Gara did hit his head. So no, Gara didn't hit his head. Shikaku protected him with sand. Shikaku doesn't want to go down yet. So Shikaku would have gotten back up and well prepared to launch a massive Bijudama straight at the Lee village to blow it to pieces. But this is when Naruto, with all the drip of a Saiyan, would just flipping jump towards Shikaku, punching him straight in the face, causing Shikaku to skid back. Shikaku would have realized that this monkey is only going in for hand-to-hand combat, which means he probably doesn't have any long-range attacks. So Shikaku would try to shoot Great Ape Naruto with a bunch of wind bullets, vacuum bullets, sand shurikens, and stuff like that, which Naruto would have easily dodged, as he would have jumped up high into the sky with his mouth starting to glow, which caused Shikaku to believe it's a Biju Dama. But no, it wasn't. It was actually just a massive key wave shot from the mouth of the Great Ape, which was just like, what? So Naruto would have blasted Shikaku with a massive wave of ki, causing a hole straight through Shikaku's stomach, which closed up again, but not in time for Shikaku to be able to block Naruto smacking his head straight off, causing Gaara and Shikaku's head to flop to the Shikaku's head to flop to the ground, and Gaara hitting being woken up from the force of the impact, which means Shikaku is now gone, and Naruto has to destroy the Bloods Wave. So Naruto would quickly charge back into the what do you call it? The Hidden Leaf Village and destroy the Bloods Wave ball. 11 minutes. So basically, yeah, he'd do that as he'd start shrinking back to a great ape, to a human, as he was making his way back to Gaara. By the time he was human again, he was now completely and fully naked because Great Ape tore through his clothes, as he would basically just sit there with Gaara. Do note, Gaara wouldn't be as exhausted, so he would still be able to sit up. So Gaara would sit up and look at Naruto and ask him why he hasn't killed him yet. As Naruto would say, he can see that Gaara is actually a really good guy. It's the same with the thing that he turned into. As Gaara would be like, yeah, what was that? As Naruto would say, it's a transformation that my people have. But, my people aren't here anymore, so I'm basically kind of the last. As he chuckled a bit. As Naruto would say, it's the same with mine. Like, whenever you transform, you lose control. You don't know what you're doing. I've caused many deaths due to that transformation and not being able to control it. But eventually, I learned to control it. As he would have told Gaara, I see that you can turn into a beast too. All you gotta do is learn to control the beast. Or befriend it. Understand it. And then you should be fine. You're just like my friend. As Gaara would be like, what do you mean? As Naruto would say, yeah, she has some weird fox thingies locked away inside her too, apparently. That's why all the people hate her. As Gaara would have been like, people hate her? As Naruto would say, yeah, they hate her. But I made it clear to them that if they ever mess with her, they're gonna get a piece of me. And I don't think they'd mess with her now. As Gaara would say, she's lucky to have somebody like you. But Naruto would reply with, don't worry, I'm your friend too now. As Gaara would have been like, what do you mean? As Naruto say, well, we had a good fight, didn't we? You're my friend. I'd like to fight you again sometime. As Gaara would have just chuckled, saying that, yeah, I don't think that'll be happening anytime soon. As Naruto would have chuckled as well, saying, yeah, we should probably start heading back now. So Naruto would have, basically, naked Naruto would have gotten up, and Gaara would have been like, guy, you need clothes. So Naruto would say, yeah, I kinda need to go home to get those. As Gaara would have just gotten up and walked with Naruto, actually taking off the white cloth that he usually has wrapped around him, and giving it to Naruto just to wrap around his waist to cover my guy. So yeah, Naruto would have done that, and Naruto and Gaara would have made it back to the village, with Temari and Kankuro being like, "What the hell happened, Gaara? What's going on?" As Gaara would say that it's done, the invasion is over, it failed. As Tamari would be like, "Oh, really? Then what? What was that giant monkey thing? I didn't know anybody in the village had a summoning jutsu." As Naruto would say, "Not a summoning jutsu, just me." As Tamari would have been like, "What do you mean?" As Naruto would have just basically shown that, yeah, he has a tail, and just even Gara didn't notice this because it was wrapped around Naruto. So Gara would have been like, "What is that?" As Naruto would say, "It's my tail." Basically, when I shot that weird ball into the sky, yeah, cause I have my tail, I can turn into a giant monkey whenever one of those are in the air, or if I see the full moon. Which they were just like, "Oh God, this child is he's strong." So yeah. Also, Naruto would have the Super Saiyan transformation down, but I'll, I'll get to the rest of that stuff later. So basically, that's how that would go down. And this video is kind of short, and I'm running out of ideas. So yeah, um, the news of the third Hokage dying would have spread, and Jiraiya would have heard. So he would have the council would still try to appoint Jiraiya as Hokage, but Jiraiya would deny it, saying that there's somebody much better, which they would believe to be Tsunade. So yeah, that arc still happens, but this time instead of Katsuna going, it would be Katsuna and Naruto going, because she didn't want to leave without him. Which Jiraiya was like, "Ooh, someone's got you a boyfriend," and Katsuna would have been like, "Baby, what's it to you?" Which Jiraiya was just like, "What?" Like, "You're joking, right?" As Katsuna would have been like, "Yeah, I'm joking." And said, "Chill, guys. I like him, but I'm not sure if he likes me." As Jiraiya would have been like, "Uh huh. We'll see about that." As Naruto here, we would have been just fine. He would have just been floating alongside them, just basically just if you've ever seen King float backwards, just like leaning back, arms behind his back, just floating. Yeah, but imagine that with a Saiyan. So that's how Naruto would be flying at this point, just floating gently alongside them. Which would annoy Jiraiya and Katsuna a lot, because Naruto didn't have to go up and down. Their feet were hurting at some point, and Naruto was just like, flight. Beautiful, beautiful flight. So, yeah. Basically, let's just skip to when they get there. They get to the hotel. Naruto would have been in the hotel room with Katsuna here, but, like, he wouldn't have minded, and she wouldn't either. The two would have just been sitting there, and Naruto would have been staring out the window. Yeah, my guy, the window. And lo and behold, what was outside? A full moon. Naruto would not be looking at the full moon. Chill, I'm not gonna have the man flipping transform. I'm joking, it ain't a full moon. It's like, what do you call it? 3/4 full? Like, the almost full moon, basically. Yeah, it's that. Basically, when it's almost full, but not full. As Naruto would just be staring out the window, and Katsuna would be, I don't know, reading a scroll. So yeah, this is when she'd be reading, and Naruto would be staring out when they'd hear a knock on the door. As Naruto would just be like, finally the old pervert's back. And Katsuna would be like, "I don't know if I want him to be back. He's nasty. With his perverted actions, his nasty jokes, and his stupid books." As she'd kick over a stack of the Ichi Paradise books, which Jiraiya had. Jiraiya had a full collection. He's just like, "If you want to read something, read quality." So yeah, he would have left them a stack, but Katsuna would have kicked it over right now. As they'd go to the door and open it, seeing Itachi and Kisame. Itachi and Kisame would have been like, "Hi, we're here for Itachi would have been like, "Hi, I need you to come with us, cause yeah, I came to kidnap you, but I'm gonna ask first." The kind-hearted Itachi we know, but basically, yeah, that wouldn't be happening, cause Sasuke would still come yelling down, "Itachi!" As he charged straight at Itachi and Naruto and Kitsuna would be just trying to pummel Kisame. Kitsuna would have noticed that her chakra was being stolen every time it was blocked by the sword, and Naruto would have realized that, yeah, nothing's happening. So Naruto would just keep pounding on the sword harder and harder and harder, causing Kisame to be like, "What is this? You should have lost chakra by now." And Naruto would say, "Don't have any." So he'd continue to beat down on Kisame's sword, and then uh, when Kisame would launch a water jutsu at Naruto, which Naruto would cut through with a finger beam. I'm talking Frieza style finger beam. So yeah, Naruto would cut through that, and basically, I think the series is gonna end in like 2 more episodes, and I might just end this in another 5 minutes. So yeah, Naruto would have basically just cut through Kisame's water style shark something, because Kisame is a shark person. So Naruto would have been beating down on Kisame, cutting through Kisame's water style jutsus with and throwing ki blasts in between, which Kisame would still try to absorb using Samehara, but it wouldn't work. They would just explode on contact, and eventually, yeah, Sasuke would still lose, but Itachi would be more winded here because Sasuke is stronger thanks to the Naruto drive. Naruto being so overpowered. So yeah, Sasuke put up a bit of fight, and Jiraiya would still arrive to see that Kisame was on the ropes. Itachi had Sasuke, so Jiraiya would still use the mountain toad stomach jutsu thing, and Itachi and Kisame would still have to just dip. I am a Naruto fan, but I can't remember all the jutsus, my guy. I really barely know any Earth style jutsus. The only jutsus that I can tell you of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Flying Raijin, the Fire style Fire Dragon Jutsu, the Fire style Fireball Jutsu, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Then you've got the Halo Dance, as well as some of the Water style jutsus, the Water Dragon, and stuff like that, as well as Particle style, Sand style, Dust style, all of that. All of that good jazz. So anyway, yeah, Jiraiya would have amped up the thing now, and my guy would have still arrived and taken Sasuke back. So now there's a bit more of a drive to get Tsunade back, seeing as she needed to actually heal Kakashi and Sasuke now, which meant Jiraiya, Kitsuna and Naruto would have sped up their search and would have found Tsunade a bit earlier here. This is when the challenge would still go to normal, being that, well, there would still be a bit, but this time being Naruto saying that he bet he can beat her, and if he wins, she comes back to the village with him, and if she wins, Naruto will just leave her be. Which she would have taken this bet, and Naruto and Tsunade would have started a fight, but not in the bar, outside the bar, just for safety, because Tsunade does tend to break a lot of things, and she wasn't planning on paying. So yeah, Tsunade would have gone through and tried to pummel Naruto, but Naruto would have been avoiding her hits by just flying around and then antagonizing Tsunade, causing her to become more and more angry and aggravated, which meant she made a lot of stupid mistakes, which meant she tired herself out, which also then in turn meant that she lost the fight, with Naruto just chopping her in the back of the neck and her falling asleep. So Tsunade does return much earlier here, seeing as she lost a bit, and she was kind of pissed, so she would be like, I'll come back with you, but give me some time. As Naruto would have been like, nah, we don't have time. Time is the one thing we don't have. If you got any unfinished business in the town, finish it up in the next 24 hours, and then we'll be dipping. Which Tsunade was like, brat. But she would accept, and she would have finished up her business, not going to Orochimaru, deciding to leave him, which means Orochimaru needs something else. And I think that's where I'll be ending this video off. I'm sorry guys, it is a lot shorter, my creativity is stumped. And I wish you all good luck. Peace.